Hey, yo, what's up? This is Ray, and you listen to the Real Vino podcast, and you are in the Vino Hour, and I'm with my man. Introduce yourself.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy C, Chris, aka C Dub. What's going on, man?
Man, it's been a minute, right?
Yes, sir.
Like, we got a few episodes under our belt. You know, we've been kind of kicking it back and forth about, content and stuff like that. How you feel so far?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. Energized, ready to keep it moving, ready to keep the energy up, explore new topics, and still elaborate on a few things that we touched on already. So,
Yeah, I think that a lot of what we try to discuss gets kind of drowned out in today's, politics and stuff like that. That's what's been going on as far as with the coronavirus, and then the president with
the Senate
everything
and all that stuff.
yeah, I mean, it's been kind of all madness, and makes
an
which
extreme amount of madness.
it makes it kind of hard to, you know, focus in on just one thing because there's so much stuff going on around you.
Yeah.
We've been kind of hit and miss on so many topics. Sports, of course, is great that we got sports to distract us and whatnot, and then it's relationships, stuff that we deal with, stuff that we've gone through, things like that.
Just normal everyday.
We don't really get to expound on that. So let's try to touch on that because this is not a real long show, and we want to keep everybody interested, right?
No doubt. No doubt.
Our last few topics have been about the coronavirus, right? We know where we're at with that. You're either going to get the vaccine or you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Right. That's you and I were talking before, and it's just like, hey, if I got a headache, I'm going to take an aspirin for it. So it's just one of those things. And I even said, like, what's your fear? If you're afraid of getting sick, afraid of dying from it, then you take the vaccine. There's no question about it. Just do it and don't worry about it no more.
Right.
Then, oh boy, he decides he's going to try to pull off a slick one, right? And then everybody bum rushed the Capitol, and they try to overthrow the government. It didn't work, but they tried, man.
Yeah, that's just the repercussions of 2020.
Yeah,
spilling over into the new year and the new administration coming in.
right.
It's funny how people respond to change. And we see a lot of bigots and a lot of different type of people responding negatively to change, and change is a good thing. So we got to move forward and get past it as a community, as a nation, as a people in general. You just want to try to move forward and leave the negative stuff where we left it last year and years prior.
Yeah. Do you do it, or do you just? Or are you looking at all of these what ifs that could happen if you decide to press on with your life, like me? I was married, no kids. I want kids in my life now.
Yeah.
Do I pursue that route? That's not a question to me. I'm going to answer that question for you. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to pursue that route because
that's what's up.
I'm not getting any younger, right?
Right. That's what's up.
I've done everything I've wanted to do. I think.
It depends.
I probably could have. I probably could have did a lot more, but I didn't put a whole lot of thought and effort behind it. But I've vacationed wherever I've wanted to vacation. That's never been a problem, man. I've always kind of got up and If I felt like going somewhere, I went and did it. You know,
And that's a great point, man. Not to cut you off, but
No, go
just to say, just to have that live that life. I've done it as well, where I've actually relocated twice for several months and some years. You know, so just being able to vacation where you want, do what you want, that the independence, the whole thing. It's I can understand that, but at the same time, once you've done that, you just want to kind of settle into something. Just kind of raise some kids and have something solid.
Right. Well, you know, it's just all about, well, you know, I've kind of already did this and did that.
Yeah, it's time for the next chapter.
So it's kind of time to write the next chapter in the book.
No doubt.
You know, about your life.
That's the actual point of my life where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Where I'm on that second chapter.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Is it going to be a good chapter?
Because I've learned off the first chapter.
Right. But you know, it's like when you're reading a book, it's like, where does the juicy part come in? Is it like in chapter 3 or 4, or is it in like 5? But I feel like
a good movie ain't a good movie if it doesn't have a happy ending.
Right.
So, or not a happy ending, but a dope ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think your movie has to be filled with your truth.
Yeah, you know, I say it all the time. I'm 42 years old. If I live to be 80, I've already lived half my life.
Right.
So I'm definitely in chapter 2 right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So realizing that, you know, realistically speaking, saying I've already lived half my life.
Right.
I got to make this back end a dope experience. You know what I mean? I'll be retired in 25 years or so, you know.
Right.
And I got to start setting up for that.
Yeah.
I got to start getting ready to stop at a certain point. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Does that new chapter begin with a new female in your life? What is it? What does it start with? Is she even involved? I should even
absolutely
even ask that.
Absolutely. I'm not into. I don't think there's nothing cool about being a player in your 50s and 60s. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not the old school dude with the 3-piece suit on trying to get a young chick. You know what I mean? I'm more traditional with it. So hopefully a woman, I should say, is in that equation. I'm just trying to find the one to put in that space.
I think that takes time because you can find somebody that you want to be with, and you can rock with them for a little bit, and everything is good, you know, initially. But it's, you know, how are you going to feel about being around them long term?
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, and are you willing to make that adjustment to be around them long term? Are those adjustments even worth you sticking around long term? You know.
Yeah, it depends on the person. It depends on the two people. I'm a firm believer in doing what's best for you, doing what's best for y'all.
Right.
I don't think there's a blueprint to relationships. I think there's a moral standard, a moral fabric that you have to keep, no matter who you deal with.
Right.
But there's no blueprint once you find that person.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have to do what's best for you too.
Right.
Not what's common, or not what you think it should be, but what is actually best. And finding that happy median and understanding what's actually best for us two is the probably the little bit of the struggle. Is finding someone that you can bounce that off of, and they take it and react to it the right way.
What if they don't react to it the right way, though? What if it's like she's the one, but the confrontation is so thick you can't even like see yourself dealing with it from a day to day? You know, I got
No, go ahead.
I have a feeling about that. I have some way that I feel about that.
How do you feel about it? Talk to me.
If I meet someone and she's the one,
yeah,
right, and we talking, we kicking it, we having a good time and all that stuff. But then,
Right.
you know, more of what she feels is right or wrong, that may be a little bit where the conflict comes in, because I've lived a life. You know, I've made mistakes. I've rebounded from those mistakes. So I might have a different perspective of how you look at things versus how I'm looking at them.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and that's where that compromise might have to come in. But how much are you willing to compromise? I'm built from discipline. So,
Yeah.
you know, from my mother, my father, from all my experience, I'm built from discipline. I'm built from the mold that what you work and what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah. But again, you got to understand that the compromise, I said it before, the compromise ain't the problem with me. The sacrifice is the problem to me. And I think that gets intertwined or misunderstood. I would prefer to compromise over sacrifice. One of my favorite sayings is sacrifice is just doing something for someone you love, doing something that you don't want to do for someone you love. And I just don't prescribe to that for some reason. Maybe, and I would hope to find someone who understands why I think like that. But I think there's a huge difference between compromise and sacrifice. So I lean on the side of sacrifice more than. I lean on the side more of compromise than sacrifice.
Yeah, I don't think you could be, if you had to sacrifice yourself to be in any kind of situation, at the end of the day, you're not going to be happy with that. You're not going to be happy with the result of you pretty much just putting who you are off.
Yeah. But also understanding
side.
how thin that line is between sacrifice and compromise.
Right.
I don't think a lot of men or women understand that's a thin line to understand, okay, am I sacrificing or am I compromising? And you have to be in tune with your mate and yourself.
Compromising is the better way to go. It's the better way to go.
Yeah.
Nobody should ever have to sacrifice who they are to be in any relationship or situation or prime opportunity. They either accept you for who you are or you just keep it moving.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, you don't
no doubt.
keep saying that, you know, I'm just going to, I do this different, but you're not really comfortable with it, because all that's going to leave is madness in your head. It's going to surround you with nothing but sadness. So you should never subscribe to just sacrificing. Try to come to the compromise. If you can't come to the compromise, guess what?
Everybody ain't for everybody.
Everybody ain't for everybody. Hey, I got to catch the next train, if it's the next train.
That's easy to say, but it's hard to deal with, because you could actually really love someone that's not for you. So I fought that before, where, you know, I almost kind of thought it was kind of like my payback. Like, I've done all of these things, and then I finally say, okay, this is the one. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, I like you a lot. I actually love you.
Yeah.
But you ain't the one for me.
Right.
So I'm like, word? You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it goes both ways. And sometimes when you live your life and you just do all of these single man type things, you might find a woman and be like, let me pay you back for all that crap you've been doing. You know what I mean? Well, that's what it feels like. You know, I'm not saying that they actually think that or say that, but sometimes when you chilling, you be like, man, maybe I lost one. Yeah. Maybe my reputation precedes me. You know what I mean? So you try to be a better person to get a better person. You know.
I believe you get the payback you deserve when you're not doing what you're supposed to do right
no
by
doubt.
Other people.
No doubt.
You know. And I feel like you should not have to subject yourself to torture when you are trying to be a good dude or a good woman.
No,
yeah.
Yeah.
Subject yourself to the way somebody else is living just because
I'm
just
unapologetic.
because
I'm just
I love
honest.
them,
Yeah. I'm not sorry for what. I'm just.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
Right.
I'm not sorry for it. I wouldn't be the man I am if I hadn't gone through those things. So it's not about being apologetic or trying to make up for it. It's more of just not making those same mistakes, not being the same dude, being the same core dude.
I'm coming from the perspective that if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're having to sacrifice who you are, maybe you should think twice about that, because if you're the one that's losing, I mean, the sacrifice is a big deal.
Yeah.
It is a big deal. It's, hey, well, you know what, I used to like doing this or that, so I'm just going to change that to, rock with you. That's got to be something that is residual.
Yeah,
everybody's got to benefit from that.
No doubt. No doubt.
And if she changes for me, and I see it as a natural change, then I got a decision I got to make. But I mean, it's being out here in this kind of environment where you're quarantined, and having to be alone with your thoughts. You're thinking about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're thinking about it. You're thinking like, man, if I get ready to jump on this road and do this whole relationship thing, get engaged, get married, that's it.
Are you ready to take that leap of faith?
On
the right woman, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. I would never run from it. I mean, I'm going to be who I am.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a choice in the beginning, man.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a choice in this. Yeah. Can I deal with him? Can I deal with her? Is this going to be good for me? Everybody gets a chance to think about it first before they do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think what I look at, like, the average guy might look at it like, if I do this, if I jump down this road, that's it for me.
Yeah.
See, that's not it for me. Because if it's not jiving, a year, 2, 3, I have an exit. But I have an exit, and that exit is me.
So, but my thing is this, though, because you're speaking from a point of being in the relationship.
Yeah.
So, what leads you up to saying, like, there has to be red flags before you commit.
I'm not getting ready to argue with you every day.
You know what I mean? So
I'm not getting ready to argue with you every day.
But if you're in the relationship already, we should have seen these red flags
Sometimes you
prior.
don't see them. Sometimes you don't see them right away. Sometimes you don't see them right away. Sometimes people sit and they are able to bottle the person that they are and pop that cork when they don't think that there's any real damage or a threat out there. So it's like, it's a gamble. You running a gamble every time you run into somebody that you meet that you think is interesting. Yeah. They will hide who they are, man. But you should never be afraid.
They're going to let their guard down. Now, how much of this do we ignore?
It all depends on what's important to you. It all depends on what you're ignoring. Is what you're ignoring?
Have you ever been in the situation where you've been like, wow, I noticed this 6 months ago, but I was trying to develop something, so I was trying to put that fire out.
Right.
I noticed it, but in my pursuit of her, I didn't address it. And then you look back and say, wow, I wish I would have addressed that from the beginning. Has that ever happened? Because that's happened to me a few times. Like, I wish I would have picked up on the signs earlier.
Right.
You know what I mean? Before I committed.
I'm probably going to say that probably my biggest weakness is my patience. Because I can be patient. I can wait and see if a situation is going to develop, or if this person's habits are habitual,
True.
nonstop. I can give anybody a chance.
Right.
I can be totally patient. I think that's the best way that I learn about any situation, to know what my tolerance are.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm never going to put myself in a situation that I can't walk away from. I'm not going to be caught. And it's not that you running, when I'm not talking about running away from responsibility. I'm talking about running away from lunacy. I'm talking about running away from, behavior that is not conducive to how I live my life.
What does it take for Ray to cross that bridge, to take that step, to take that leap of faith, to say, okay, she's the one. I'm going to do this. I'm going to lock this down. This is the one. Who is that to you to not make you sacrifice?
What it takes, what to answer your question, it is all about patience. I can watch and I can observe. Mm-hmm. And I'll know if I don't want to be in that situation. I'll know that I'm not going to go in that path. You got to show me who you are.
So your thing is discipline and patience on your end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what you think is nice and good and that doesn't.
Let me follow this up with a question. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna follow up with a question. But go ahead. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that what you think is nice and good and that you think is gonna allure me, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Now, are women patient? Would you consider?
I think 50% of them are, and I think the other 50% just like want what they want right now, and they don't really care about what you're thinking about, and that's bad. Mm-hmm. You got to look at the situation on the whole before you start, decide if you want to get into a relationship with somebody. You don't just like decide that, well, he's got this and that about him that I don't like, but we'll change that. No.
Yeah, no, yeah, we ain't doing that. Yeah.
It don't go like that.
So I've always said one of my universal truths in life,
okay,
is that
welcome in Dave, ladies and gentlemen.
Right,
men marry women, praying that they never change.
Right,
women marry men, expecting that they will.
Yeah.
Do you think that's fair?
Oh, I don't think it's fair, but I think it's reality.
Yeah,
and it's not it's not always true. But, because one of my corollaries to that is that which initially attracts you to someone will eventually make you want to kill them.
Right. Yeah. I just think like if what I'm doing is not hurting nobody, if what I'm doing is progressive, it's productive, then what would you look to change me?
Well, I think change is based on, and this is just my opinion based off this conversation. We didn't really talk about this particular issue prior, so this is really just coming from this conversation. But I don't think women want a man to change to make him a better man. I think women want men to change to make them better for them. Yeah, so it's not. I want him to be who I want him to be. I don't really care about what he wants.
Well, he's either
he needs to be who.
And I get that.
Like if you look at it, if you meet someone who has, I'm gonna keep it PC. Someone who has a reputation,
right?
That's the woman. You're not gonna marry that woman.
Right.
Now, but she could change her ways and be a different type of woman. But if you know that history, you're not gonna.
What if she has changed? What if she's not as loose as she used to be?
What if a guy has been a certain way all of his life, and then he corrected his errors?
I think at the end of the day, when you meet a person and you've talked to them,
some people are just rough around the edges.
That might be true, and that
with genuine hearts.
If they're
just rough around the edges,
it doesn't. It's not laying in the weeds waiting to present itself. It's going to present itself right then and there. But when you meet somebody, you either know if you're going to rock with them or not.
Yeah.
You can tell within the first 48 seconds of that conversation that she's the one or she's not the one. I'm going to tell you something. I know that right away because it. I think
within a minute.
I think that hey, I'm gonna tell you something.
What did
all
she
depends.
say?
If she's a real one, she's gonna tell you exactly what's on her mind. She's gonna tell you exactly what's on her mind, exactly what she wants, expects, and then from there you'll know if you can deal with her or not.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement. Takes me a little bit more longer.
How much longer?
I know who I want to. I'll put it this way: it doesn't take me any time to know if I want to pursue you or not. That's the easy part. If we have a conversation and there's a certain energy or vibe, okay, I know I want to pursue this further. But as far as, are you the one? That's gonna take me a while. I don't know how long that takes. If it's fire, it could happen in. Yeah, you know what? Let me shut up, man.
No, I'm just
because honestly, it can happen in one day.
Yeah.
But obviously, it wasn't because I'm still single, right? So obviously, it didn't work. So I think time is of the essence. You know what I mean?
It takes. They say it takes time. They say it takes time, but I think that if you meet someone out of the gate and who they are is offensive to you all the way around, you already know that you can't deal with them.
Yeah, that's true.
You already know that you can't deal with them.
Yeah.
You know, I think that we all get off on the wrong feet. I think we all get off on the wrong foot, running into a relationship, telling somebody what we're not going to put up with. Because at the end of the day, if we just
I learned that a long time ago.
we just adopted like the principles of life, treating everybody the way we want to be treated, loving each other the way we want to be loved, then we would never have to get to those points where those conversations about you don't respect me, I don't respect you, they ever exist. Mm-hmm. We just avoid all of that because we already treating each other the way we're supposed to be treated. Yeah. You don't want to be told what to do, but then you telling me what to do.
That's a good point. Because you know you don't want to walk into a situation saying what you're not going to do. Excuse me. Yeah, you don't want to go into a situation saying what you're not going to do, but at the same time, you don't know what you will do for the right person.
You're right.
That's why I don't go into relationships saying what I'm not going to do, because I could say, well, I'm not cooking, I'm not going to do this. I may meet the woman that deserves that.
Right.
Or I may meet someone that deserves me to get out of my element and explore and be a different kind of guy, or be a more understanding, more compassionate, more like, I can say what I don't want when I'm chilling by myself, but I could actually meet somebody that deserves that, and I have to figure out a way to tap into that part of me to give them that if I want to be with them, because she may deserve that. She may be so good of a person that she deserves that. So I never say what I don't do. I just have a standard moral and standard that I don't negotiate with.
Right.
But as far as interactions and what I'll do and all that, that's we can negotiate that. But there's a 1 through 5 list that I'm not gonna negotiate on. You know what I mean? But outside of that, we can make it happen.
So you got a 1 through 5 list that you're not going to negotiate on.
I wouldn't say 5. I was just freestyling right there. This is unrehearsed. I was freestyling right there. So I wouldn't say 5, but, you know, there's a few things that are non-negotiable. Yeah.
It's pretty much only really one thing that's kind of...
I'm not that of a stickler. I say 5 things, but it's maybe 2 or 3.
But you got to have what you like. You got to, you know, what you want. You know,
that's human nature.
You know, you know. It's one thing for me.
It's one thing for you.
And she's not gonna get it.
You gotta crack. You gotta crack the safe on this one. I haven't even heard this one yet.
I'm not gonna. It's.
You gonna keep it to yourself?
Later, maybe in another episode.
All right, we'll keep that under wraps.
You know, like what you think is my kryptonite, it's not.
I don't know.
It's.
I
not,
don't know.
Not,
we don't have these conversations. So
yeah,
I'm
just
know.
saying, like most women pride themselves on, like, they believe they got what dudes like to keep them interested.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying is that whatever that is to you, that's not for me.
Gotcha.
You know, it's not for me, man. I've have a totally different perspective on what the physical attraction is to a woman, to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and you're right. We don't talk about it because we just don't talk about it.
Physically is, yeah. I mean, I don't talk about my relationship. My brother is my best friend. I don't even talk to him about my personal relationship.
Right.
You know, a couple of reasons why though. I never want anybody else to form an opinion over someone that I love.
Right.
Now, I don't want an outsider. I'm not calling my family outsiders, but my relationship is my relationship. That's my business. And if I give you the opportunity to form an opinion about my lady, then I give you the option of speaking about her.
Right.
And ain't nobody really allowed to speak about my lady when I'm in a relationship with her. So I don't discuss her to alleviate them being able to respond or discuss her. So it keeps you up at night when you're thinking a lot, because you don't get a chance to unload on anybody or talk to somebody. But at the same time, you always make your own decision, because you're not letting anybody else influence your love for that person or how you treat or care for that person. So I'm private for that reason,
right?
Because I don't need anybody else telling me I should leave my girl alone, or I don't need to hear that.
Yeah. I think that's all that is, like, negative talk.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, you know.
I know if I need to leave or not. I don't need nobody else.
I don't need anybody telling me. Like, right. I got to, trust me, I'm not as long suffering as you are. Like, I'm, you know, once I peep any bit of unhappiness around the corner, like, I got to deal with that because that's a personal issue with me. So
no
I'm
question.
not going to.
No question.
I'm not going to sit and wallow in anything.
Nah, no doubt.
That's going to cause me a setback. So, you know, we're going to have an understanding off the jump what it takes for everybody to thrive in that particular situation. And if we can't come to an agreement on it, then
it is what
we
it
gotta
is.
we gotta agree to disagree. We gotta agree to disagree, and we gotta move on. That's the initial conversation, man. It's not nothing. It's not like 6 months in and
it's different.
You've been physical and all this, and now you're having this hardcore conversation. Like I'm having this, I'm gonna have this conversation with you before it gets to any of that because I need to know you're on board. Yeah. If you're not on board, then I'm not just going to be doing this just to be doing it. That's
the perspective
ridiculous.
Of, he's single with no children, or he's single. Yeah, but you understand there's other element to that. I have been married before, so I've devoted my life to someone before.
Right.
So I really know now what I want because I've experienced it. Yeah. You know, and I didn't get married young. I got married at 30. Well, at 42, I said I got married young, but at the time I thought I should wait to 30 because the way I lived my teens and my 20s, I didn't think I was ready.
Right.
But when that didn't work, I really found out how young 30 is.
Yeah.
And so you want to, I look at things from a divorced man's perspective, not just a single guy. And I don't, you know, and I will want a woman that understands that I look at it through that lens, not just I'm a single guy out here. Like I have a perspective like this because I've committed my life to someone before.
Right.
So my perspective is just a little bit different. just based off experience, you know.
So at the end of the day, is it all physical or is it?
Not at all. I love from the inside out.
Yeah.
You gotta love from the inside out. I mean, I do need physical. There are certain attributes that I need, that I would want, but I try to love from the inside out, if I can.
Right. Yeah, I think.
I am Chris at the same time. So.
Yeah. Everybody's human at heart, and they just
human nature takes over sometimes, but I try.
Yeah. At the end of the day, everybody's human, and they want to be with somebody. They want to be desired. They want to be loved. They want to be cared for. You know, so at the end of the day, I think that's what the real conversation needs to be about. It's not about, you know, who's in control of a situation and things like that. I think that, you know, if you're both going into an arrangement and you're disciplined enough to deal with his situation and you're disciplined enough to deal with her situation, it should never be an issue.
Dave,
that's why I don't think.
Are you married or been married?
Oh yeah, I'm a veteran.
You're
Right.
And how many stripes you got? How long has it been?
So 2, 1 for 6, 1 for 14.
1 for 6 and 1 for 14. Okay.
So you did the deal twice.
Well, which is why I said I do. I truly believe, because in both cases, and people grow apart and they change. And I mean, the older I get, the more I've come to the conclusion that marriage should be like leasing a car and not buying it.
Right.
Like there should be a set time period. You get a contract, and at the end of it, if y'all want to re-up,
Right.
that's cool. But I mean, there should be a planned out strategy. If
14 years is a long lease, man. So
I think
you bought that car.
But that's also where my 2 kids came from. So I'm you know, I mean,
Gotcha.
that's and they're phenomenal. So it is what it is.
Cool.
But no, that's, you know, because I do. That's why I've said, you know, I think that which initially attracts you to you eventually makes you crazy.
Right.
Because in both cases, that's been the issue.
And that's the that's what I'm saying is, like, at my age and doing everything that I've done, and then coming full circle with who I am right now today, that's the only thing that's missing in my life is kids. I want kids. A female that has kids doesn't bother me, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like I was saying, like,
I have fun with that.
I at the end of the day, you either gonna rock with me or you're not.
I had 2 beautiful
I have a
stepdaughters.
different. I have a
Yeah,
discipline.
when I was married, I had 2 beautiful stepdaughters that
Yeah.
I cherish to this day.
So I don't think that it's like, well, you know, you getting ready to marry him and he's got 4 kids, or you getting ready to marry her and she's got, you know, 3 kids. It's, you know, can you guys deal with each other?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I'm not getting ready to marry like somebody on a totally different wavelength than me just because she's young and she can bear kids, because her maturity is not where mine is right now. It's like, you know, everybody needs time to get it together, and it's, what do you have time for?
And that's
Dave,
one of the
Dave,
reasons. Oh,
we
okay.
got COVID. We got a crazy, you know, something coming out of
Country's
DC.
on fire. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Rome is burning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, we let the Trojan horse behind the gate,
Mm-hmm.
right? We let him behind the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's in shock and awe over what is happening right now when we shouldn't be. So for me,
No,
when I'm looking at my life, I'm
because to
thinking
your
like,
earlier point, you saw what he was all along.
Yeah.
It's not like it was hidden
Right.
at all,
Right.
ever.
Yeah,
And now people
not.
want to be shocked by it.
you can't be.
But no, to your point. I mean, to your point though. I mean, that was the ultimately the death of my first marriage. Was when she changed her mind and decided she didn't want to have kids.
Yeah.
And that was the deal breaker for
Right.
me.
That was a promise to my ex-wife. That had a lot to do with my divorce, where I sat down and talked to her, like literally had a discussion prior to buying her a ring and being engaged, saying, if I want to be a dad.
Yeah.
I'm 30
Right.
with no kids. I want to be a
Right.
dad.
Yeah.
If you get pregnant, there's no discussion.
Yeah.
And another episode.
Yeah.
But, you know, so that just, and then now when sometimes you'll meet a young lady and she'll say, well, I'm in my 40s. I had kids in my late teens or my early 20s. My kids are adults or teenagers. I don't want to change diapers anymore.
Yeah.
But she's the same age. She's the same age as me.
Right.
But she's done having kids.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with But is my stance on wanting to be a dad more than my stance on wanting a successful relationship?
I think
like, do I that's sacrifice?
And
Am
that's
I going to
where
sacrifice not having children to be? And nine times out of 10, approaching my mid-40s, I'm gonna be a stepdad anyway.
That's where.
So it's like 9 times out of 10, you know, not unfortunately, but there's a possibility that you would just meet a female that have children. So you have to make that decision. And you lead into someone saying you want to be a dad, and they're not trying to change diapers at 50 years old.
No, I mean,
you know what I mean. So
yeah, but I'm not.
What do you accept?
I'm not trying to, and I'm not trying to raise a teenager when I'm 60, 70 years old.
right.
I don't want to do that. Like he should
So
be.
So you say you want kids though,
right? But I'm just saying it's at this
I
time.
think you should sign up for being a
and
stepdad.
here's what I'm saying about that. That I want kids, so it's looking at those situations that present themselves in the right manner.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
And for me to not have to deal with those pains of like raising a child when I'm 60 and 70 years old. It's like they're kind of there. So, I am going to, at my stage, I'm looking at a female that she's probably already got kids. They're probably, of age. They're not babies. They're not toddlers, but they're, old enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what this situation, that's what this whole COVID and radical this society has forced me to get in line.
True.
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Because you don't have that much time.
Let's make it happen.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's like, and
it sounds like you're leaning towards sacrificing something.
No, you're not looking for. I'm not leaning towards sacrificing anything. What I'm saying is that, there's multiple people out here with kids.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's like at the end of the day, when you talk to them, they're either gonna be on the same page with you or they're not. There's no time to waste. You don't have time to waste.
Mm-hmm.
So you either know what you're gonna do or you're not gonna do it. Or you're just gonna back away from it and say, you know what?
And that goes back to what we were saying earlier about not saying what you're not gonna do.
Right.
When I was 25 years old, I said, I'm not marrying a woman with kids. When I was 30 years old, I married a woman with kids. Never say what you're not gonna do because you never know what you will do for the right person.
Right.
So it always goes back to that. So I never,
And I don't think
I have a hope. I have an idea of what I want, but sometimes you just gotta take life how it comes and never do bad things to good people. So
I think
and never hold something that happened for 30 minutes 20 years ago against a woman now.
Right.
So it's a dynamic to it that you gotta understand.
I'm just saying, like, right now is the time to decide what you want to do.
I know what I want to do.
Go do it. And if it's, it's time to start putting all those ducks in a row.
Yeah.
Like, you're not, like, I don't feel like I have time to contemplate it anymore. I've already thought about it. I already know what I want to do, what I want, and the kind of person I want to be with, and that is already done.
So the idea is there.
The idea is there.
It's just about finding a person to put in that position.
That's it. Look, Dave.
He's
proud.
ready.
Dave's a proud dad.
He's ready to correct
couple
us.
of kids.
No,
he's
not at
okay.
all.
No, go ahead. Man.
No, I mean that's dude. I mean, but I get your point. I mean, like I was never gonna get married again. Whoops, that changed. You know, my first wife actually. That was part of it. Is my first wife had a kid from a prior marriage, but it was he was a great kid. It was odd, but I still wanted to have kids of my own. And so when that changed, but to your point, I think you're right. I think like now more than ever, I think we've learned that life is tenuous at best.
Yes.
And so why screw around?
Right.
Like have, whether it's 5, 2, 10, know what your deal breakers are and just lay them out on the table. Like don't play this stupid a first date shouldn't be like the job interview version of yourself.
Right.
Like it should be the real you. Like just get it all out there. Because why waste time?
Right.
Why waste your time? Why waste their time? If it's not
say it all the time.
if it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. It's like I always said. It's being an entrepreneur 101. If you're gonna fail fast.
Right.
Dude, everybody fails. Not everything works. Not everything's perfect. The trick is recognizing early that it's not going to work and pulling the ripcord and getting out of that situation.
Yeah.
And so why is dating any different than that?
Yeah. Right.
It shouldn't be.
You're right.
It's
It shouldn't
not.
be.
It's not, I say it all the time. Like I was, when I talk to someone who's I could potentially date or whatever, I say it all the time. Let me go ahead and get the BS out the way now. This is me. I do this. I do that. These are my habits. This is. Is that okay with you?
Right.
Before we even continue, we don't have to go through a month of this.
Before, like, okay, is it gonna piss you off when?
Nah.
Da 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 da. Like, because I just let me know. Like, because da 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 is gonna happen.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So where is that on your deal breaker threshold?
Right.
Like where?
Yeah, so am I the type of guy that like, if I'm, and that was too early what I was saying, like I could be, there's a lot of good in me.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on what you consider good, you may forgive that da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm a sleazeball, you're like, oh, you a crappy dude and you do this?
Yeah, like dude, like
like,
you're a firecracker in the sack. So you know what? I'm gonna ignore the fact that you never put the cap back on the goddamn toothpaste.
Right.
Like,
right. But if you're unemployed, you better put that cap on that toothpaste.
Right. You have no excuse not to put it on. You're in a hurry to go nowhere.
But if you're doing your thing, you can get away with something.
Yeah.
And that's just, if you're a good person, you can get away with it just because the good outweighs the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's I do know. It's just that now we're forced to really put a lot of our life in perspective and decide what we're going to do and just do it.
I remember when I was living in D.C. before I moved out here, I was living with a girl.
Oh, you was living in D.C.?
Yeah, lived there for 5 years. Before I
How'd
moved
you
out
like
here.
it out there?
Loved D.C. Dude, when I was young and stupid and single, that was a hell of a town.
Oh, D.C. is nice. We got to get to D.C.
Oh, it was a hell
We
of
were
a town.
talking about that earlier. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. But so I was living with a girl, and one of her friends was over, and I was doing laundry. I was like, shit needs to get done, whatever. And Michelle started to get shitty with me about the way that I was folding the towels, because I wasn't folding them the way that she folded them. And I'll never forget, her girlfriend looked her dead in the eye and went, "Bitch, are you crazy?
Right.
Like, he's actually washing,
Right.
he's doing laundry, and he's folding. Screw how you fold the towel. Like, let the man do and just be grateful that he's doing it."
It's crazy, man.
Perspective is everything.
Right. Yeah. We just totally threw out the fact that somebody's doing laundry. and
Yeah.
Making an attempt.
Yeah.
So you're just going to go right in with criticism on how it's being done.
Oh, because here's the flip side of that. If I try to do something and you get crappy with me about it, odds are good that's the last time I'm doing it.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
pick your battles.
I think
Pick
that. Yeah.
Which hill do you want to die on? And if you
Don't
want
even,
to die,
with me, don't even fight the battle. Just
Right.
fight the war.
Just
You're not gonna even win the battle. I ain't dealing with that. I'll deal with the war. I'll let you be mad at me. I'm not about to.
Yeah, you can just be mad.
I'm not about to fight a battle every week.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you just gonna go to sleep mad. But I'm sorry. But when it comes to a certain perspective, of course I'm gonna address it. But
and that's
I'm not gonna
like
fight every day with somebody.
But you know what? You need to change your life on that. Like if that's killing you, and that's the worst thing, you need to make an adjustment.
You can find worse.
And that what I mean, but like if the worst thing that happens to you this week is that Dave folded the towels wrong,
Right.
You've had a really good week.
Right. They've been sitting in the basket for 2 weeks.
Goodness,
He said, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fold them up. Right? The laundry been sitting there for like 2 weeks. He's like, I'm gonna do this laundry. That's all you got? It's like you folding the top. That's ill.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Well, we're approaching what? We got about 4 minutes left, man. James Harden, he's in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an exciting season. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we have to discuss that because you're a Brooklyn fan.
I don't have no faith.
No, you was shouting out Brooklyn all day in the first episode,
you know
so I'm not gonna let you skate.
That
with
was
that.
before we got rid of Karis LeVert.
No, I'm not letting you skate.
That was before we got rid of Karis LeVert.
I'm about to rewind the footage. First episode, Brooklyn. No.
This was before we got rid of Karis LeVert. Let me tell you something.
Man, Michael Jackson
Let me tell you
is
something.
moonwalking.
Let me tell you something. We have a chance to knock LeBron off of that throne if all three players come back. If they don't, we don't stand a shot.
We're going to address this at a later time.
I'm going to tell you something.
We're going to address this.
When it was Kyrie.
Your boy Kyrie don't even know if he want to play or not.
He's going to play, man. He's going to play, man. He's going to play. He's a basketball player, man. Okay. He's going to play.
All right.
But what he's catching heat for, none of us should be upset about.
I'm not upset about it. I don't care what Kyrie do.
He's doing what he wants to do with his time and with his life.
I don't care.
The NBA, the NBA.
He's just backtracking because
the NBA.
Brooklyn ain't gonna win.
The NBA is a reason why these guys do what they do. It is, man. You can't tell me. You listen to all these guys that they say, Dave. They say you're in a place of business. You're supposed to be professional. You're supposed to let your boss know what you're doing and blah, 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 blah. These guys make millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. The NBA has never insisted or demanded that these guys take professional stances in any aspect of their career.
It's a players' league.
In any aspect of
it's
their career.
It's a players' league. You got to do that.
Exactly. So if the guy's saying that I'm not going to be there.
You got to understand football and baseball. Football and baseball are
first off, in football, you'd never be able to get away with that.
I think Gordie Howe actually said it best. He said, the minute the players make more than the coaches, you're done.
You're done.
The NBA is a players' league.
Because
period.
Why would you listen?
Why would you listen?
I make $30 million. You make $5 million.
That guy has to forfeit over $800,000.
That's 2 games. He makes $400 and something grand.
He's got that sitting in his couch.
That's 2 games.
You're not punishing him.
No.
When you're giving him $140 million, you're not punishing him.
He's gonna play 60 more. So cut him.
No.
Don't say nothing.
That's
then.
ridiculous too.
Okay, well you can't say anything. You either fire the man or put up with him.
He said he's coming back. You talk to the guy. He said he's coming back. I'm excited to be there.
You
whatever.
knock him 2 weeks pay and say, okay, cool, because it's a players' league.
Dave, if they were not paying these guys millions of dollars, these guys would not be doing that.
When Randy Moss was acting an idiot, he was blackballed. So we can go on and on, man.
His job is not like mine.
Yeah.
He cannot go to practice. I cannot not show up for work.
No, the equivalent would be like you not showing up for work and your boss going, you know what, give me 35 cents, and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. But it looks like we got. Excuse me. It looks like we got to wrap up, man.
We're done. That's it.
I'm burping all on there.
That's it for Real Vino Talk. We'll get back at y'all next week.
Yes. Thank y'all for tuning in.